Michael Jackson, Alicia Keys, Whitney Houston, Genuine, DMX, Mary J. Blige, Big Daddy Kane, Roberta Flack, Dionne Warwick, Beverly Johnson. Today, you'll meet the man that has worked with them all, Angelo Ellerbee of xxPosure. Mr. Ellerbee has been successful in the media relations, PR, and artist development business for years. And on this episode, we sit down with the man behind the talent, Angelo Ellerbee.
Hello, I want to thank you for tuning in once again for a little bit of business, a little bit of life with Kyle Donovan, sponsored by New York Life. I'm here with Mr. Angelo Ellerbee of xxPosure, and once again, you're in for an amazing interview. So Mr. Ellerbee, you worked with such greats as Michael Jackson, Dionne Warwick, DMX, Mary J. Blige, Alicia Keys, Shabba Ranks, Lionel Richie, Drew Hill, and the list goes on. So if I'm watching this right now, how would I duplicate the success of Angelo Ellerbee?
I don't know if my success should be duplicated, but I think it should be used as an example. My life is an example, particularly for young people. I believe wholeheartedly that you should follow the yellow brick road for success. What I do is what I do. Don't copy what I do. Learn from what I do. Follow the path of righteousness in which I've laid and I've created. With all of the people that I've worked for, they all brought their own unique qualities to Angelo Ellerbee. I put myself in a time capsule very much to think that I was Berry Gordy. I care about the development of my artists. If it's a senior artist or if it's a new beginning artist, I want my people to understand the importance of the job of doing business. And so I want them to learn the basics of how to sustain in longevity and to have longevity. Longevity is important. You know, we will ask, where is that artist who had that hit 2 years ago? Yeah. No one took the time to educate or stimulate or motivate young minds to the awareness of the business of music and to explain to them, this is not a part-time job. This is a full-time job. And so it becomes really important in the development pattern with a client or with an artist that he or she knows the importance of every area of concern, from publishing to royalties to bookkeeping to all of these things that we take for granted. We say that our manager should be doing it for us. I'm not that kind of guy. I want you to understand the key qualities of how you're going to spell out longevity and how you're going to stay in this game.
That first time where the light bulb goes off is, this is an investment in me. This is a real business. This is something I can really make a living doing. Because I think a lot of people, particularly watching this, might be wondering, how is artist development a business? How do I pay my rent from this business? Well, so from that to your first client, how does that transition?
Well, let's craft it like this.
Okay.
The principle of my company is public relations. That's what pays the bills. I got smart because I knew that this vast industry of PR was going to be, everybody was going to be a publicist. Everybody in the world is a publicist. It's a simple thing to do. So I wanted to find out how I could make things different. And how to make things different is that I found particularly people who looked like me in the industry lacked a professionalism. Stage presence, clothes, mannerisms, diction, the whole of the bit. And then I started to study, to go back to Berry Gordy, to understand how he had to command the stage with his artists. And what he had to do with his artists was to teach them and educate them about how American staying power. Thus, diction, speech classes. I mean, I have a 24-week course that Mary J. Blige has gone through, Alicia Keys has gone through. I wanted to make a difference. I'm at $350 an hour. And you're going to pay me. And there's a minimum of 8 hours that you have to take, and the course goes on forever. And I think I think that the artist has an understanding and an appreciation to what I bring to the table, and I have to have an appreciation to the kinds of money that I make. So the beginning was James M. Tume giving me the opportunity to be a publicist and work on a major motion picture, which was The Native Son, that I think it was Oprah Winfrey's first film that starred Oprah Winfrey, and he did the music to it, and Richard Wright, playwright, I was excited about it. Did I know what I was doing? No, I didn't know what I was doing, but he taught me, and that's why I do what I do now. I give chances and I teach because someone taught me. And now I understand and have an appreciation to the value of what I bring to the table and the value of which my clients have to pay me for.
So with all the artists you work with, can you share with us a good business story? Yeah. You don't have to mention any names. I'm a big proponent of stories and no names. Tell us a good story
I think that I would be the best story. I was managing a young gentleman by the name of Earl Simmons. I guess he's best known to the world as DMX. And I had the opportunities to invest into a film. I invested in the film with DMX. He was the principal and I being the manager. So this was a great opportunity. You got to remember, after selling 24 million records, how we knew that we were going to put butts in the seats. Not that he was a supreme actor, but we just knew the fame and his notoriety. We were going to go from city to city packing this, especially after 8 major motion pictures that he did knock down doors in terms of records of seat sales. So I invested in this film and lost my money. Lost every dime.
Wow.
I wasn't accusatory.
Max, how much you invested?
$6 million.
$6 million. Wow.
Somewhat of my life savings.
Oh.
I couldn't become accusatory. I could not blame my accountants or my investors. It was my decision. It was my decision to invest in something that I believed in. And I remember so clearly because I had an office on 7th Avenue, and I think at that time I had maybe 18 or 19 employees working for me. And yeah, I'm a mama's boy, so of course I had to make decisions. You know, you have the housekeeper, you have the driver, you have all these amenities because of your work ethic and what you put out there. And now I had to start to rethink my existence as the CEO and president of my own firm, and I had to start to cut employees. I had to look at a new facility. I had to look at all this. And in this, you know, I've never had partners in my business, never partners. I solely owned my business. But I called my mother because my mother was my confidant. And I called her on the phone, and I was very hurt, very much at dismay. And my mother said, you know, I'm in the middle of cooking my greens. What's the problem? And I said, Mom, I'm going to have to move out this place. Now I lost my money. She said, oh, okay. So this is what you need to do. Pack it up. Get out of there. Go find a place that you can afford and wipe the tears from your eyes. I don't have time for this nonsense. And that was such a revelation for me. Because this is an unconditional love. She said to me later, you made that mistake, didn't you? So if you made that mistake, you have to figure out how you're going to clean that mistake up. Do you like the way you live? Do you like you like all of that, right? So trust me, because I trust in you, Angelo, you're going to figure it out. And thus, I humbled myself and I figured it out. That was a learning lesson for me. To have what I thought was the world at my beckoning call and no longer have it was a revelation. But a good one. Yeah. A good one that I tell the story about each and every single day. Yeah.
Where you are today, looking at the industry as a whole, the music industry is down over 50%, I'd say, the past 5 years. Mm-hmm. Where do you see you and your brand 5 years from now? And what you've done, do you think that can be repeated today?
Let me say this to you, that I have, with all of the trials and the tribulations of the music and entertainment industry, I'm not hurting. I'm not hurting at all. I am blessed. I'm to the point of turning people away. That's only because when you feed something with good gasoline and you oil it with the right oil, the engine is going to always run. I always get return business. I'm not hurting. I don't sit up and talk about the economy and all of the negatives. I work within it. So am I getting $10,000? No, I'm not getting $10,000 a month. Maybe I'm getting $8,000 a month. Am I making some sacrifices? I'm making some sacrifices. But I'm a smarter man than I was 20 years ago. I understand how I am able to stay in the game, and so many other people in PR and artist development are not. Yeah. You know, I understand the importance of really embracing my projects and working from here I work from the heart. And I think that all of my clients would have to say, he gives its all. And when you give somebody their all, they trust you. And if they don't have all the money today, and they can only take 4 months of your service and come back for another 4 months a year down the road, guess what? It's returned. And I don't advertise.
So 5 years from now,
I'm good.
You're good.
5 years down, 10 years down from the road, I'll be good.
Tune in for part 2 of A Little Bit of Business, A Little Bit of Life, as we discuss life with Angelo Ellerbee.
Clubs, dance clubs, CeeLo's with Kevin Hedge, it's a friend of mine, so maybe. Yeah. But I'm really much a homebody.